Angry Guy here. Today we're discussing why women are furious men are ignoring them at work. Women are furious that men are ignoring them at work. And I mean, what exactly did they expect? They think that after #MeToo in these last couple of years, men would literally be waiting to sing Kumbaya with them? I think not. Let's just go ahead and jump into this video.
Literal works of art available for women to download entitled How to Destroy a Man Now. Guys, they say that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. But in this case, it is men that are fed up and are making rational decisions in the workplace. So the Me Too movement is clearly backfiring on women in professional environments. And if you guys remember, the Me Too movement kicked off towards the end of 2017, most notably with the Harvey Weinstein case, where he was inevitably found guilty. Now,
Harvey did nothing wrong.
At the time, the movement was praised because it gave strength to a lot of women to report harassment that was happening in the workplace.
It wasn't strength, it was a platform.
But one of the talking points specifically within the male sector that they focused in on is the strength of this movement hyperbolic or exaggerated in comparison to what is actually happening in the workplaces today. And if there's an overcorrection, well, what would be the result of that overcorrection? Well, first I want to give you guys Exhibit A, and this tweet got over 2 million views on Twitter, and it says, I was talking to a female friend and she was telling me how lonely it is for her to be working with only men in her team because they all maintain a respectful distance from her as they don't want to come off as creeps, not realizing it is completely isolating. And when I read this tweet, the first thing that I think of is that there's modern men today that are making rational decisions because they're putting their purpose or how they make money over shitting where they eat. But the definition of shitting where you eat is shifted over time because it used to mean flirting with said person of the opposite sex. But in modern times today, men are avoiding contact and conversations with women because of the overcorrection that I spoke about previously. The irony being here is that the Me Too movement was put into place to help women, but it turns out the degree that women utilized it to weaponize interactions with men in the workplace seems to be hurting them just as much. 5 years removed since the beginning of the Me Too movement, it's clear to a degree that Me Too is backfiring on women today in professional settings because men that might be executives or senior managers are now refusing staff. Now, some believe that this is just a knee reaction, while others are saying that because the risk of being fired and interaction go awry, or the risk of having harassment as a stamp on your invisible resume or on your track record is not worth talking to or engaging with these women. So I decided to dig a little bit further, and I found this article from Forbes. 60% of male managers are uncomfortable in job-related activities with women. And here's why. A whopping 60% of male managers now say that they are uncomfortable participating in common job-related activities with women, such as mentoring, working alone together, or socializing together. And since men still run most of our corporations, the ability to mentor when senior men won't even want to meet with them alone. Personal anecdote time. So you guys know that before going full-time on YouTube, I worked for 2 Fortune 20 companies. And because I did have a senior manager position, I would often get hit up by both men and women from a mentorship perspective. And for the guys, I would meet them somewhere in the building. We might go out to lunch. We might actually even leave the building to conduct our conversation.
I mean, guys, what do you think? What did anyone think was going to happen? We're now living in a society where men have walked away. Men are basically saying, you know what? The juice is no longer worth the squeeze. Women have basically taken things to a level that has never happened before, where men realize that just a simple interaction with a woman could lead to them losing their livelihood or just literally being frustrated. Because you've got guys going to the gym and being called creeps to the gym because they're working out. And only when there's a firm rebuttal showing that these women are actually the ones harassing these men is something actually done. It's maddening. By the way, guys, if you already haven't done so, please subscribe. If you already have, thank you so much. And turn on notifications to never miss another video again. Also, like the video, because by liking it, you're telling YouTube, I like Angry's videos, I don't want to see more of them. And YouTube will then suggest more of my videos to you on the homepage and then also in the suggested videos list. So go ahead and do that. And if you're enjoying the videos, guys, drop me some cash via Cash. You can find a link to 3 dots on the screen and click on tip, and you can send me a tip that way. Guys, these men, a lot of these men are beyond calling back. They're not coming back. They're not going to marry these women. They're not going to have children with these women. The password bros are already gone, and more men are going to go password bro because they're not going to put up with the foolishness that they're getting from women. And dating women in the workforce is like a big no-no. Anybody in their right mind today would not risk dating a woman in the workplace. And these women say that they feel isolated and lonely because of it. Well, welcome to the real world. We all feel a little lonely sometimes. But the irony is that it's getting worse for women because while a man can help other men work through it, women are finding themselves socially isolated, and they won't have men. They won't have men. They won't even have, and eventually they won't even have their friends. But their friends are going to move on. They're not going to have women are not going to have family. They won't have friends. They won't have children. They don't understand these concepts. They don't understand the importance of building a firm family structure, a firm family unit. It's very, very serious. And as I said, these women did it to themselves. So I don't empathize for them. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
But for women, I kept the majority of these conversations unless it was referred by someone else that I had a good inclination onto their character. But I would keep those conversations via phone. So for the men, it's no problem in conducting these conversations because it was never an inkling in my mind of things going astray. But for women, and especially a man being of a senior position, there's so much more risk in these conversations because you don't know how they may be taking some of the things that you might be saying. And the reason for that is I don't want to risk my purpose from a young lady that might be taking a joke or something like that out of context. So as a senior team, I need to make a conscious decision of her. Do I have a one-on-one meeting with her within a room where there's no cameras and no one else present? And even the thought of that is just laborious in nature. So how about I just not have it to begin with? There are even more staggering statistics from the Lean In survey. For example, senior men are 12 times more likely to be hesitant to meet with junior women than with junior men. Just like what I'm saying. They're 9 times more likely to hesitate when it comes to business travel with the opposite sex, and 6 times more likely to be hesitant when it comes to work dinners. And this is crazy looking at this right now because the story for most feminist women is that men are just monsters, just unable to control their sexual urges and appetites. When the data says something completely different. So women are left out of one-on-one meetings, business trips, and work dinners. And we wonder why there's a pay gap. I find it so interesting.
Ultimately, when you think about it, women created this hole for themselves. They never took accountability for anything. They made loads of money and they blamed the men. It's a terrible thing. Right now, men are setting themselves up for the future by walking away, by going overseas, and by finding new wives, by starting new lives. Men are setting themselves up for the future.
Interesting. Now, after we've gotten over the surface level arguments,
guys, ultimately, men have to be aware of the things that are happening. Men have to be alert. Men have to stand up for themselves. Men cannot allow themselves to be taken aback by the nonsense that's happening in society. Men have to be aware. Men are not dating anymore. Men are not having children with these women anymore. Men are not putting up with it. Men are not risking anything. Men are very, very alert to the dangers that they're in, to the dangers that they're facing. Because modern day women have taken it to that point. Modern day women have destroyed the relationship between men and women. And now women are furious that men are ignoring them at work. Well, guess what? Deal with it, sweetheart, because men aren't coming back. Men are not going to put their livelihoods at risk. And frankly, men don't want relationships with American women because American women are not feminine. They don't have that spark. But guys, that's all I have for you. What do you think about this? Are you surprised if women are furious, men are ignoring them at work? Do you even give a fuck? Do you give a shit if women are furious about anything? All right. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. Just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. and cheers.